This is Mongolian Mindset, and today we're going to be typing Rob Reiner. He was just killed by his son. I don't know
Mm.
too much information about it. I really don't follow much of the media a lot of times. Bazaar is like, bro, we got to get this guy on the fucking channel. So I'm like, fuck it, let's fucking do it. You guys know we use Linda Bennett's interaction styles and Tiffany combined with cognitive functions. We have a breakdown of all these metrics online. Just look at the channel and go to how to find anyone's personality type. They're all broken down in detail, guys. You cannot miss this shit, right? If you've been following us for years, you know how this shit is. Join our Discord. Um, like the video, comment, and subscribe. And Zara, what do you want to say about Rob Reiner before we get into this?
Yeah, he was a film director. He did some acting roles. Yeah, he was the dad in Wolf of Wall Street, never forget. Um,
Oh, he made Wolf on Wall Street?
he was the dad in Wolf of Wall
Oh
Street.
shit.
Yeah. The $26,000.
Oh yeah, you're
Um,
right, bro.
yeah,
Damn,
yeah.
that's cool. All right.
And yeah, and he's made a lot of iconic films. I don't really watch a lot of movies, but people were touting um his discography. So
Okay.
um yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. Him and his wife were stabbed by their son,
Both?
and yeah,
Oh shit, this is wild.
yeah.
All righty. All
His
righty.
son's dad has reportedly been in and out of rehab since he was 15,
Whew.
and
We might have to
and
type him for the books, but we kind of know where we probably go there. But we don't
yeah.
want to just shit on nobody.
I don't want no, but it's really a just this unfortunate situation.
Yeah, it is what it is. Sad to see, man.
Yeah.
So personality dummy base has Rob Reiner, um, as an ENFJ. He's a director, right? So ENFJs are direct, they're initiating the outcome, they're affiliative, they're emotive, and they're abstract, the TIFE, and they're SENI guys. Okay. If he meets those metrics, we will fucking type him ENFJ. If he don't, we'll find his real personality type. We got people crying in the comments all the time. Mercer types every hot girl INTJ, and it's like, no, bitch. I type anybody who has direct responding pragmatic, progression, abstract, systematic, TFI, and SENI and INTJ. Not every fucking hot woman, you dumb motherfuckers. But hey, man, it is what it is. Some people just can't think for themselves, but whatever. Uh, Zara, anything? I mean, you got to break down these messages, Zara.
All right. So we'll start with direct versus informing. Direct is concise to the point, maybe a bit curt, while informing is wordy, gallamacious, and beats around the bush a bit. Now we have initiating versus responding. Initiating will bring up topics or initiates more topics. Bring and while the responding role will they will respond towards stimulus. Whereas now we'll move on to progression versus outcome. The process process focused people are more focused on the journey side of things. The goal, it's a little more hazy. The goal, it's shifting more. It's evolving over time. Whereas outcome types are more set on the destination and aren't so focused on the process. And their stories are more about the end, the end result. So that's something to look out for, guys. Then we have affiliative versus pragmatic. Affiliative people are more about the group and the group harmony, and they care about the rules, the structure, things like that. Where pragmatic people are more about the are what works in the end. Ends justify the means sort of mentality. Um, so then we have structure versus motive. Structure um is um is more about is about the system, the universal principle behind everything, the universal order of things, whereas motive is more about particularism. It adjusts itself by case basis. Whereas like structure on the other hand is more universalist. They apply universal systems towards problems. Concrete versus abstract. Concrete is more about the present, the here, the now, maybe the past. Um, and they're not future, and they don't think of more as much about the future, typically, these types. Whereas abstract people are more about ideas, conceptualizations, and connections and things like that, and are more about platonic forms where and particularly are future focused again. And yeah, so that's how they're oriented. And then we got the cognitive functions, and we'll start with TEFI. TE is about the order, the system, and enforcement of that. And whereas FI is about the values behind a person, how they feel, what is aligned with them, where what makes them feel good. Um, and on the other hand, and now we're going to move on to TIFE. TI is about, they're both about understanding, as I've said in numerous videos, but TI is about understanding the logical framework and their own conceptualization of it, right? So it's about their own internal thinking. Whereas FE is more about their understanding the group and meeting the needs of that group. And especially higher FE types, they're really they really notice these needs a lot
Mhm.
more and meet them. Try. Um, Whereas SC is about the moment. It's concrete, obviously. It's about noticing the here and now. They may even see opportunities in the moment. Higher SC is especially good at this. Whereas its counterpart is more about foreseeing, envisioning the future, uh, a a singular concept, a they're into aha moments. They have these breakthroughs. They synthesize, refine information, and distill it, right? They're always and it's a future focused function, so it's fairly abstract, especially with higher NI. Um, on the other hand, now we got SI, which is about like internal review, which is about like stare decisis in legal terms, meaning precedent. Um, they think about the past and and the importance of it and traditions and they're also about their own stasis. They monitor their bodily needs. They notice them. And whereas NE on that same axis is about making connections, is fairly abstract. You can say it infers a lot, and it also notices other people's needs, especially wants or desires, especially with higher NE. They'll always be talking about what other people wanted. It's borderline interest at this point, but yeah, so NE is a bit again about inference, things like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, guys, what you will notice with the NI users, they'll be condensing things down while the NE people will be expanding on
Constantly
things,
expanding.
constantly expanding. And like the SI is gonna be talking more from a first person perspective, almost like
Yes.
they're the main character. Um, especially the SI Inferiors. It's almost sounds like it's a fucking movie, like it's too good to be true. And then SC is going to be talking more about like the objective experiences, something that we all could agree on that happens between all three, like we can all agree on, not their own subjective personal experience, right?
Yeah.
The introverted functions are subjective, being that it's based on the user, and the extroverted functions are based on the external, right? Um,
Yeah, those are some excellent points you added there.
Work as Archie Bunker's son-in-law, Michael Stivic, back in the day on All in the Family, an Academy Award nomination for A Few Good Men, one of the many many hits directed by this man. Shock and Awe in theaters near you Friday, July 13th, and released through DirecTV Cinema right now here on DirecTV. Good to see you, Rob Reiner.
Nice to see you.
So, interesting. Let's start with a little bit of sports first. Your Dodgers are in first place right now.
I know. You know, if somebody would have told you at the beginning of the season that Max Muncy would be our go-to guy, you would have said, what the hell are you talking about?
And you would have said, no, Matt Kemp. And then you would have said, well, what the hell am I talking about there, too?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I mean, listen, we're 8 games over 500 right now. We're in a very weak division. I mean, I would have thought that Arizona would be doing better than they're doing now, and maybe Colorado. But no, and we're not. You got to win the division. You're not going to get the wild card out of the National League West.
Right, I know, because Max Muncy, we were talking about the other day, sounds like a character from an old school movie, like From the Natural.
Yes,
like the Robert Duvall's character.
And batting in the number 3 position, number 41, Max Muncy.
That's what it sounds like.
Muncy.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It really is. And just when you think that your team is down and out, and Kershaw has hardly had anything to do with it.
No, I mean, he's been injured, you know. He's been injured. I mean, he started out the season great. They couldn't get him any support, and he wound up not getting the amount of wins he should have. But, I mean, his ERA is still good. But, I mean, he's been hurt, and he's been used, sparingly.
Do you go back to the Brooklyn days with this team, or no?
I was a New York Giant fan when I lived in the Bronx. My dad was a Brooklyn Dodger fan. He was a Giant fan, but he became a Brooklyn Dodger fan when they acquired Jackie Robinson in 1947. I was born in 47, so I grew up loving Willie Mays. He was my idol, and
then when you moved out,
we moved to California, I still stayed a Giant fan when they moved to San Francisco. And when they sold Mays at the end of his career, they sold him to the Mets. And I said, I got really mad. I mean, how could they do that? Willie Mays, you know? And then I became a Dodger fan.
It's amazing because, in the final year of Vin Scully's career at the mic, it was discussed. Even he spoke openly about how.
Yeah, I think we're picking up some TEFI there.
TEFI was all over the place.
I'm like, for some reason, my brain is thinking this guy's either ESTJ or like INTJ. It's like my brain's going between like, oh my God, which one is it? Which one is it? I don't know why my brain's thinking that, but my brain's going between those two. That's how I work sometimes. It's just like, oh, God is one of those two.
Yeah, he does having those same thoughts.
ESTJ or INTJ, one of these.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a Giants fan essentially first.
Right.
And a lot of Dodger fans were like, what is he talking about?
Well, I mean, if you were in New York, if you lived in the Bronx, you're either a Yankee fan or you're a Giants fan. I mean, we had those great arguments. We had, Mays, Mantle, and Duke Snyder. And there was a big arguments amongst kids who was the best. We had 3 great center fielders in New York at the time. And that was the arguments. But, I mean, I remember as an 8-year-old kid, I went to a Giant Dodger game. It was in the Polo Grounds in the Bronx, and I went and got Willie Mays' autograph. I went down to the dugout, and he gave me his autograph, and I was.
This is all SI here. It's all SI, right?
Yeah.
He's going right into his memory, and it's all about his subjective experiences, and that's the reason why he's using the word I there.
I remember as an 8-year-old kid, I went to a Giant Dodger game. It was in the Polo Grounds in the Bronx, and I went and got Willie Mays' autograph. I went down to the dugout, and he gave me his autograph, and I was like, oh my God, and the game was like a 16-inning game, and the Dodgers, the Giants won it in the bottom of the 16th. A guy named Valmy Thomas, who was a catcher for the Giants, he backed up, I think, Wes Westrom, and he came in and hit a home run, and I was like going crazy, and I left my program at the ballpark.
Oh, come on.
I'm not kidding.
This is all SI. This is all SI.
Yeah, that's SI.
Yeah. And you can see how he's lighting up when he's talking about it. I know he's old, and you can make the case that, like, any old person would be lighting up talking about their past, but yeah.
Came in and hit a home run, and I was like going crazy, and I left my program at the ballpark.
Oh, come on.
I'm not kidding. I cried for days. I had Willie's autograph, and I didn't
and
have
you
it.
left it.
Yeah. But then years later, I got to meet him, and I shook his hand.
When was this?
This was way later. Now I'm, a grown man, and
after you gave up the Giants because they sold them to the Mets?
I still like them.
Okay.
I still have a feeling for them. I know you can't possibly have a feeling.
I still have a feeling for him, huh? What'd you say?
Different interview? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, this old man nostalgia stuff is, yeah, like 60 minutes, maybe,
John.
because they always do these jump cuts and shit.
Meathead, the liberal, all he had became a cult classic.
The story will continue in a moment.
Of his day.
I really don't like this guy.
I don't like 60 minutes that much.
That's when it's on.
Yeah.
I want to go Fox. Yeah, really full. See what we get. This guy is. All right. Try this.
I'm actually very excited to talk to you.
Thank you.
You're one of my heroes.
I never saved your life,
I
though.
think that's Stuart
That's what a
Milton.
hero does. I don't think I should be in that category of hero.
All right, you're part of a lineage that I am part of too, but way down kind of the line of a tribe of funny people.
Yes.
Who I am so grateful to be considered part of that tribe, even though I'm down the line a little bit.
You know, it's funny. I have a picture in my office, and it's the people who have written for Sid Caesar, the old show of shows. And I look at that and I think, oh my God. First of all, there's Mel Brooks, Neil Simon, Woody Allen, Larry Gelbart, my father, Joseph Stein, who wrote Fiddler on the Roof.
Right.
I mean,
A lot of name dropping.
anybody who made you laugh in the second half of the 20th century is represented. And I thought, wow, that's the world I come out of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I got to be introduced to some of that world because Jimmy Burrows, whose daddy, Jimmy directed all the Cheers and co-created, but his daddy, Abe Burrows, was, if not part of that team, was around that team doing the same thing.
Absolutely. Jimmy Burrows directed his first TV movie that he directed was a movie that I did with Penny Marshall. And every morning he would come in and I'd say, it's Abe's boy. And then he would say, hi, it's Carl's kid.
I love Jimmy.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's still doing great. Speaking of Penny Marshall, I spent one lovely day making out with her.
Really?
Nonstop in front of cameras. I'll give you that. It was Laverne and Shirley, and I played the fireman who she was going to marry, and then he burned.
Oh, he burned up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. But there was one scene, literally, where all we did was in the background kissing.
Wow.
Fondness for her.
See, I didn't know about that.
No, but
I might have gone to the set and observed had I known.
Probably not.
No.
Okay. There's so many things I do want to talk to you about. Yeah. So here's, it's not a confession, but I am pop culture and I are just, I'm just now starting to say, oh, snap, and think, oh, what a wonderful phrase. I last night, for the first time, Mary has seen it many times, saw Spinal Tap.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was one of those things I've lied about over the years and said, of course I have.
You don't want to admit that you hadn't seen This Is Spinal Tap.
Yeah. And I am obsessed with it. I laughed my ass off. It is amazing. And everybody knows this because everyone else has seen it. But what I loved was, take me through it, because it first was an existing group. Because you in the 70s, you brought them on to just sing a song before they were actors.
But it wasn't existing. And basically, we created it for this TV special I did for ABC. It was called The TV Show. And it was on in, I think it was 1979. And the show was a satire of all different things in television, sitcoms, commercials, everything. And one of the things we satirized was a late night TV rock and roll show called Midnight Special.
Right.
And on that thing, I played Wolfman Jack, introducing this band that we created for the special called Spinal Tap. And they did a song called Rock and Roll Nightmare, which was, like an MTV video live mix of things. And they started improvising off camera in these British.
Sounds progression.
Yeah.
Yeah. This has got ENFP.
I have no idea.
rock and roll, characters.
Harry, Michael, and Christopher.
Harry Shearer, Michael McKean, and Chris Guest. And we thought, gee, what great characters. It would be great someday to find another venue to explore these characters. And we put it aside. We said, that was that. We went our separate ways. Harry and I started working on an idea for a movie. It was called about the life of roadies. The backstage, was a tour and how they get from one city to the next. And then we read that.
Let's just slow down. Slow down. He's progression. Let's slow down. All right. He's progression. I think it's pretty clear he's progression here. So let's go ahead and knock that out. All right. With being progression, that kills all the outcome types. So ESTJ is dead. Guys, ESTJ is dead. Okay. So we got these types here. Let's go back. I think he may be TFI.
Yeah, I think he's kind of nailed that coffin.
There was a movie going to come out called Roadie with Meatloaf. And we said, okay, forget that. We put that aside. Meanwhile, Chris and Michael did a little video of these two British rockers running into each other in a hotel, in a lobby, and vaguely remembering that they played in a band together at some point, and they were improvising. And they showed us the video. I said, wow, what a great thing. What if we, instead of
what if? Caught that?
Mm-hmm.
Caught it. What if? Oh.
Of these two British rockers running into each other in a hotel, in a lobby, and vaguely remembering that they played in a band together at some point, and they were improvising. And they showed us the video. I said, wow, what a great thing. What if we, instead of a tour told by, from the roadie's point of view, we do it as the band's point of view. And the four of us got back together and said, let's see if we can come up with an idea of how to do it. And we had this idea to do a rock and roll documentary, like a satire of The Last Waltz and those kinds of rock and roll documentaries. I went to a guy who ran Marble Arch, which was Lou Grade's company. I said, look, give us, we have this idea. And they said, great, here's the money for a screenplay. The four of us sat down and we realized when we were working on this screenplay, there was no way we could communicate in screenplay form what this was going to be, because it had to have a documentary feel. It had to be cinema verite and all that. So I went back to the guy. His name was Martin Starger. He ran ABC later. And I said, look,
seems informative.
I said, give us the money that you were going to give us.
Seems informative.
Yeah, so I was thinking, I think this guy might be ENFP.
For the screenplay, which was $60,000. And I said, I'll make you some of the film and I'll give you a sense of what it's going to be. So he gave us the money and
you do this, I'll give you this. It sounds interesting. What'd you say, Zara?
TEFI's off the board.
You think so? All right, let's go and kill it.
Let's just kill it. It's dead.
TFI. So guys, with that being TFI, damn, this one's a weird one. So that kills ISTP, ESFJ, ENTP, and INFJ. Guys, those are off the board. And he's coming off abstract as well. I can go ahead and hit that. So ESFP is gone. ESFP and ISFJ are gone. So I think we're looking at either INTJ or ENFP. And he talks about too much improvisation and just like winging the fuck out of shit. And I don't think an INTJ would do that. So I think we have an ENFP here. By just using logic here, I think we got an ENFP.
Put in $25,000 of my own money into it. The guys chipped in $5,000. We had $90,000, and we made 20 minutes with backstage footage, concert footage, and interview footage. And I put it all together, and I showed it to him, and I said, "This is the kind of thing we're going to do." He said, "I hate this. I don't like this. This is terrible." I said, "Oh my God, what am I going to do now?" So we had this 20-minute film, and we started shopping it all over town, trying to find somebody that would go ahead with. Karen Murphy, who was the producer of it, said we were going from studio.
You see how he keeps name dropping Karen Murphy. Yeah.
to studio. I had literally had a can of film under my arm, 20 minutes. And I said, Karen, if we ever get this made, we're going to be able to tell the story that we went from studio to studio, put a 16 millimeter, 20-minute
So we're gonna be able to tell the journey, and he's giving all this extra information.
film and showed people, and we could, but nobody said it. Everybody turned it down. Nobody said. Finally, there's a movie that they're making at Avco Embassy. It's some, like Take This Job and Shove It, or one of those types of movies. And they're looking for a director. And this guy named Peter Turner, who was not my agent, he was an
Name dropping some more.
agent, William Morris. I wasn't even with William Morris. He said to this woman who was shepherding the project, Lindsay Duran, says, what about Rob Reiner? And he said, well, what has he ever done? He hasn't done anything. He said, I saw this 20-minute piece and you should take a look at it. She looks at the piece and she says, well, forget the movie I'm trying to get. What are you doing with this? She dug it. And she said, what are you doing with this? I said, I can't get it made. I'm trying to get it made. She said, if you can find some money, I think I can convince the head of Avco Embassy, who was Frank Capra Jr., Frank Capra's son at the time. I think I can get him to distribute it. And I said, okay. Once you have a distributor, it's easier to get money. I got a little bit of money. I went back to her and I said, okay, we're ready. Let's go. And then Norman Lear and Jerry Perenchio, Norman Lear, who created All in the
Name dropping
Family and all that, they bought Avco Embassy. And what happens oftentimes when you buy they scrap everything that was in development,
right,
including ours. We were done. So I was very close to doing it. And then they said no.
This is 81, basically.
This is,
if you shot it in 84.
Yes, this is about, no, we shot it in 82. So it is like 81. And so I go to Alan Horn, who was running, he was the head of business affairs, and he became one of my partners at Castle Rock. I said, Alan, please, let me just talk to Jerry and
you're giving way more information, bro. Like, bro, you ain't got to do all this. But
and Norman, let me just please, get me a meeting. He puts together a meeting. Jerry, Norman, bunch of other executives there, and I go in and I go crazy, and I'm screaming. I'm going, it's the best movie. This is going to be a big hit. It's got rock and roll. The kids will love it. Repeat.
Selling, marketing, selling.
Business. I'm going crazy like this.
Yeah.
I leave the meeting and I'm told after I left the meeting, Norman turns to everybody else and said, who's going to tell him he can't do it? So they let me do it. And, then the rest, as they say, is history. Yeah.
Okay. A couple questions going back.
Yeah.
How did you know Michael, Christopher, and Harry before?
Yeah, we good, Hazar?
Yeah.
I think it's ENFP, which is crazy. Crazy. I did not see that one coming. I'll tell you that much. I did not see that one coming. Guys, ENFP here. That was crazy informative. Just ranting. So ENFPs are informing guys, right? They beat around the bush. They just say a whole bunch of fucking just blah, 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 word vomit soup with informing initiating word vomit soup for sure. He's all about the journey. That shit was literally all fucking journey. I did hear about put the money together, all this togetherness,
collective soup shit,
collectiveness. He wasn't talking about just himself, or autonomy or anything. He's also telling about selling their ideas. So motive as well, and then abstract, and then TEF. TFI and SINE. It's been rare. We rarely get ENFPs on the channel. So
fortunate what happened to him.
Yeah, unfortunate. I thought maybe it'd be ESTJ or something, but then when I seen the motherfucker just flying off the window, I was like, oh shit. I was like, ooh. So guys, he's gonna be ENFP. I think ENFP, we want to go 7W6, 7W8. Which one you thinking? 7W6?
7W6.
Yeah.
I don't think he's 8.
You thinking SO or SP?
SOSP.
Yeah.
Personally.
And CN or what do you think? CN or C?
Yes, CN. That's
CN.
he's not C squared, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he's not that much. What are we thinking?
Um,
Demigod level,
Somewhere in there.
average, above average.
Just put him at like I don't know, he's probably close to prodigy at the point of his life. He did pretty well for himself,
Yeah.
but above average, whatever.
So guys, we
Let's
got him as an ENFP 7W6 SO/SP CN above average. Yeah, he wasn't like going crazy with the any, but like he was going out there selling that idea. Any can really sell some shit, man. So yeah. That one's a little bit different. Sometimes you don't just jump down. I started off thinking either ESTJ, INTJ. I was fucking wrong. Um, Sometimes intuition is wrong, guys. But when you're having a trouble like that, you want to slow that bitch down. Like, okay, this is getting a little too chaotic. Let's slow it down. What we're getting easily was progression, right? And he's name dropping nonstop. So from there
yeah.
on, we got certain people that we got ISTJ, ESFP, INTJ, and ENFP. So and then we got that's with the TE. And then from there, we saw like abstraction there. Um, and then we're down to ESFP, no, ENFP and INTJ. And clearly, he seems way more informing than being direct and specific and concise to the point. So by elimination, we came down to ENFP, guys. Okay. So just walking you guys through that and how we got there. And this is like a teaching video because me and Zara did start out thinking, maybe this is going to go ESTJ or an INTJ. So yeah,
Yeah.
even we're surprised sometimes. I mean, he looks like an old guy. Old guys are kind of hard to visually type.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you want to say, Zara?
Not really. It's just as unfortunate what happened to him. Rest in peace. I wish we didn't have such a buffoon of an idiot in the Oval Office mocking him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean, you know how Trump is, bro. Like
yeah,
Trump is he's got, at baby FI. And when you got baby FI, you perceive everything as an attack. That's the sad thing about baby FI. You perceive every little thing as an attack when,
yeah. It just
hypothetically it's not.
everything's lately has been beneath the standard of the Oval Office. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
fucking trash.
Yeah, and I mean, if you can get somebody to react to everything, they become your master. I'm surprised nobody's really explored that with Trump. I think Trump really gets away with it because he gets to hide behind America. All our technology, all our tools, all our best minds and stuff. But I think that shit would not fly if he was in any other position in the world. Oh shit, Zara's gone. All right, guys, we'll catch you guys on the next one.